Hi, Ray Hayden here, and this video is going to be about Google Earth Flight Simulator, but not really about that. I'm not going to do any flying in this particular video, but I'm going to talk about some of the things that are, really cool if you want to do flight simulation, just to get good at it. If maybe you want to, maybe you're a pilot and you haven't been flying for a while and you want to check out an area or whatever, you want to check out your procedures and all that, because you can take off and land in these aircraft, and they work pretty much. You have to follow the rules and regulations that you would for your real airplane, or you would be in trouble. Now, the F-16, of course, is a fighter airplane, but you can simulate jet flight with that by just operating it as if it was like a 737, for example. And even though this is a low-wing piston, propeller-driven aircraft, you can operate it as if it was a high-wing aircraft, low-wing aircraft. The only thing you really don't have a simulation tool for here is a helicopter, but you can get a whole lot of practice doing different things with a jet or a propeller-driven airplane here. But one of the things that, there's two websites out there. Well, there's a bunch of websites, but there's two in particular I'm going to present in this video that are kind of cool to help you learn about stuff in general, aviation-wise. And if you want to use these kind of ideas for, upping your game, shall we say, or your professionalism in simulation of aviation, it's fun to say, then these are pretty cool things. Let's check out this website right here, and I'm going to go to the main website and show you what the normal everyday citizen would be using. And it doesn't need airplanes in the background. That's pretty cool. That's an FA-18, by the way. Anyway, so with that, maybe you're coming or you're going to the airport to pick up friends and family or anything like that. You would track the flight. So there's all kinds of different flight tracking airplanes out there. You can go to the airline and track the flight, see what gate they're going to be at, if there's any last minute changes. Cool stuff. But if you click on the live flight tracking on FlightAware, it'll bring you out and it'll show you basically your area of the world based on where your computer is located, your IP address, that kind of thing like that. Plus, I've been in here and told them where I'm at anyway, so they, I can see it. Now, if these are moving. All these little airplanes are moving. So if you can actually hover your mouse over it and see where they're going. This is a United Airline Flight 1417. It's a Boeing 737, I think, whatever a 738 is. And it's at 32,500 feet. It's doing 478 knots, and it came from EWR, which is Newark, New Jersey, and it's going to MCO is actually Orlando International Airport. So the airplanes are coming into the area, and then they have to follow certain procedures and land. But this is pretty cool. All these things are moving, and you can see that they seem like they're lining up, like on a highway, because they are. So let's check out this next thing here. And this is the next thing we're going to see is a VFR Navigational Chart. And here it is right here. And it's basically looking at the same area that we're looking at here, kind of. This is Cape Canaveral over here. This is Lake Okeechobee. And if we go over to this other one, here's Lake Okeechobee. Here's Cape Canaveral. And this bright red spot here is a security restriction for flight over Disney World. So the Walt Disney World theme park area, you cannot fly below 3,000 feet AGL, which is above ground level. And that's going to be in place pretty much forever. So it says until further notice, but we all know they don't want people buzzing Disney World. You don't want to be upsetting the guests there, and it would be pretty upsetting if a plane started buzzing the theme parks. Anyways, so we look at here and we see all these little dots. These are weather stations here. You're not going to have these on the paper chart, and but it's kind of neat on the internet, which we did not have when I started flying. And then here's Miami International down here. We have Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. And these yellow areas, if you look at the background of the charts, you see the yellow areas are the very heavily populated areas that we'll see. And Orlando is very densely populated. And along the coast, of course, you would expect that. And down in Southeast Florida as well. Over on the West Coast, St. Petersburg is indeed packed. So is the Tampa area all the way down. This is MacDill Air Force Base, this green dot right down here, and that tonsil that hangs down into Tampa Bay. But this is all very interesting stuff. But you're a whole lot freer to fly where you want to fly, how you want to fly, and things of that nature. If you're flying, like this link says, World VFR, that's visual flight rules. If you're flying on visual flight rules, as long as you don't violate the rules and regulations for instrument flight, then you're pretty much okay. Stay clear of everybody. Talk to the control towers when you need to. Talk to the flight controllers between, when you're flying the distance and you're not like either taking off or landing at an airport. Make sure you stay in touch as you can with flight controllers along the way. and it should keep you safe and out of trouble as far as all that goes. If we look at the world low altitude chart, we're going to see a whole bunch of lines on the paper, or on the screen in this case. These are highways. These are basically the avenues that the aircraft have to fly on based on controllers, requirements, restrictions, registry, regulations and all that, whatever's in place at the time. And it's flexible to an extent, but you pretty much are going to fly on certain known courses and paths. And if we look over here, you can see that these planes are pretty much on the highway. They're all pretty much following each other to where they need to get to, and there's no top secret stuff going on here. It's just they get on a highway in the sky and they fly, and this is pretty much what the highways look like. Here's that one they're flying to up to the northern parts of the United States. So we also have a high altitude instrument flight. For the ones that are flying really, the major airlines are flying high level altitudes. You'll have a couple of things going on here. The blue lines appear to be GPS flight paths. So if we look at the low altitude one again, I'm not seeing all those GPS ones. I'm not even seeing, just off the top of my eye here, I'm not looking at, I don't see really any instrument or GPS markers anywhere. But if I look at this high one, then I'll see like this little square right here with the points on it. This to me is indicating it's a GPS waypoint, like these ones here. You'll fly out to this waypoint, and then from that, I guess they're coming into these waypoints, is what it's looking like to me here. Like this triangle is like the direction of flight. That's what it's looking like to me. And then they have these other waypoints. So they'll have these different waypoints. You'll hit this waypoint. You'll have it all programmed in your GPS anyway, and then your airplane will just you'll turn, you'll follow, and you'll get to the next one, and you'll get, I guess at this point, you would get additional information from the flight control, as it needs be. I don't fly this kind of flying, so I really honestly can't tell you about it in detail. But I can tell you that this is a restricted airspace zone right here. This looks probably like a military flight path into a restricted area for military operational training. And then here's another one coming in from the southern area. And that's good information for visual flight roles, even though it's an instrument flight role chart or map. This is good information to know where these planes are going to be coming from when they do their training. But there's more to it than that, because if we look at the World VFR, you see that these have these other areas that are much larger than the blue one in the center here. And these are military operating areas, which may or may not be active. And if you're going to have a flight that's going to go through here or near here, you're going to have to talk to flight controllers when you're getting your weather briefing and everything else, and you're planning your flight. You want to make sure that these areas are inactive, or that you have to plan to fly around them and give yourself more room to fly around these areas. Well, these are really cool websites. There's a whole lot of education and information that you can get from these different things, weather reports and all this kind of stuff. And you can look at the different charts in different ways. Really excellent information. Here's a Miami chart down here for you. The other chart is actually off the chart here, because this one here is focusing on basically South Florida. This is really, I really wished we had this kind of tools or these kind of tools available to me when I was learning how to fly, because these would really enhance the learning experience. Just fantastic. We always had to buy the paper one, and they expire. You have to buy it all the time. This one here would be updated continually on the internet. So that's really cool. And I love these things. I think they're fantastic. And this one here is just really a super cool tool. If you wanted to simulate like you were a air traffic controller or whatever, you just want to check on flights, see what's going on, see how things are going. This one here is going from Dallas-Fort Worth to Fort Lauderdale. But they basically fly into the area the same way. And a lot of these planes will fly down the coast, and then they'll turn in and fly to Fort Lauderdale. Here's one going from Tampa to Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta to Fort Lauderdale, Newark to, actually this is going somewhere else. It's going to this RSW thing. It's Regional Southwest Airport there. So again, these are really cool tools that are available to us, or we can just play around with our flight simulator, just flying along and checking things out as we go. So with that, that's going to wrap it up on this video. If you have anything that you'd be interested in seeing, any kind of specific flight videos or anything like that, I'm willing to do those. They're cool. They're fun to do. I enjoy playing around with the flight simulator. It's a very interesting tool to use to help me stay, I guess, flying is a very expensive hobby. And if I don't have a reason to fly, I'm not going to do it. So, but it's an excellent hobby to stay in touch with as far as using a tool like Google Earth Flight Simulator. And you're looking at the ground, I mean, that's pretty much what it looks like when you're flying over it. Get rid of the heads-up display, and that's what you'd be seeing in real life, pretty much like that. All right, so with that, let's wrap this up. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like this video, make a comment below, let me know your thoughts on things. If you want to see more about the Google Earth Flight Simulator, by all means, let me know, and I'll look at it, and if I have time available, I will make videos that I think they'd be some pretty cool flying videos too. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And until I catch you in the next video, take care and be well.